Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Stories. This is your first time, then please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell below. Sometimes I like to change it up and talk beer things pretty loosely. This one's actually going to be about my trip to San Diego. I just reviewed this, although I will be posting that review after I post this video, so be on the lookout for that. Seemed appropriate, right? I figured I would do a San Diego beer, and I knew I had this aging. So anyway, short version, why was I out there? My wife had a conference, so I tagged along. Great way to travel when, their employer is paying for a hotel, their airfare, their food. So it only costs you your airfare and your food and drinks. So it was a blast. I was there for, 5 days? And I'll keep this mostly beer specific, but I will say this. It was a week before Comic-Con, so being a huge comic book guy and like all that pop culture stuff that typically goes there, it was really cool watching like how they were putting up all the installations and the experiences outside the convention center. I walked around the convention center every day, trying the water, so I would do this nice like 2.5 mile lap from my hotel all the way around there and back. But yeah, it was really cool. They had like South Park stuff, Amazon Studios, Fox had like Family Guy, Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, and some new the Hart family, some new show. What else I see? FX outside, Dragon Ball Z stuff outside, Adult Swim. So anyway, yeah, really cool. Just watching that stuff kind of go up the behind the scenes, if you will. So I was in I'm going to say it wrong. Is it the Gas Light or Gas Lamp? I think it's the Gas Lamp district. Sorry, it's probably the other one. Whichever one it was. My bad, guys. Sorry, San Diego. No offense. And that was a really cool place. Tons of restaurants, bars, few breweries there. San Diego, if you don't know, has a ton of breweries in that area. Like a crazy ton. Like my wife asked me if I was going to hit every brewery while I was there. I'm like, no, it's impossible. We don't have enough time. It was 150 or something. A crazy amount. Anyway, so beer stuff. First, I'll just keep this mostly brewery related. In that gas, and again, I'm sorry, is it Gas Light or Gas Lamp district? I went to Half Door, which was cool. The name comes from an Irish tradition where pubs on certain climate days would have the door only half open. It must be to keep it cool on the inside. But nice building. Is probably like a big former house, the way it was leveled out and everything, but beautiful decor, nice outdoor seating area right by the Petco Stadium where the Padres play. And you could see definitely some people had hit that and then left as I was getting there because they were going to the game. Also right there is actually one of the Stone Tap Rooms. So that's the one I went to when I first got to San Diego. Within like 5 minutes I walked by a tap room in the airport. If you follow my Instagram, you might have seen that story. So I went to the Stone Tap Room there as well. The Half Door was good. Best thing I had there was actually their barley wine. It was quite good, English style barley wine. I figured being on the West Coast it was going to be like a Bigfoot kind of clone, but no, they went full English and it was really good. Their beers were fine. Food looked good. I didn't eat there. The tap room I did go to by Petco. Very nice. That bartender was amazing. She was very knowledgeable. She had me try a couple of things that we get talking. She's like, let me give you a little taste of this too. She helped me do like a little blind comparison. They had two different IPAs. One had pineapple, one didn't. But so the same IPA, one had the addition of pineapple. I got it right, so it was cool. But yeah, she was rad for sure. Cool space. It was a tap room, but I'm kind of over going on brewery tours. So when I go to a brewery, I just kind of like if they, their tap room space. So yeah, that was cool. Also in that area, it was a little further away, but it had good ratings, was Mission Brewery. And I was very impressed with them. A lot of good beers. I did a flight, a taster, and then like a half pour. And they had an English barley wine. It was actually the best beer I had from them as well, that had been aged in bourbon barrels. And they did a really good job with that. As a huge fan of that style, they knocked out of the park. They're actually in an old Wonder Bread factory, which I thought kind of funny. But everything I had there was good. Their hazy stuff was good. They had a West Coast. Their Hefeweizen was just like 1 degree off of how I like it. It was good, but it was just like 1 degree off of exactly how I want that style. So that's, I don't know if that sounds like high praise. Actually, maybe that's high praise. Their Belgian wit was good. for a lower ABV. It was a hot day. You know, it was refreshing for sure. They also had Deadpool pinball, a Deadpool pinball machine, I should say. And being a huge Deadpool fan, that was awesome. I put in 10. Well, there's also a really annoying guy sitting next to me at the bar, so I used that as an excuse and put $10 in there and played for over an hour. It was awesome. Let's see. So that's all the stuff I did in the immediate area where my hotel was. I had reached out to Joe from Jow's Arcade for some recommendations. He's like, hey, let's just grab a beer. I'm like, yeah, awesome, man. So we met at Modern Times, the Loma Land one. Not the newer one, but the older one. Awesome facility. I'll talk about the brewery first. I'll talk about hanging out with Joe, which was awesome too. So, really cool. You know, it was spacious. You could fit a lot of people in there, and I know we went on a Monday, so like, yeah, shocker, it wasn't super crowded, but like they had a nice newer outdoor area as well. The indoor stuff was good. You know, they had like couches, bar setup, tables. You had kind of like that flexible seating stuff, whatever you're in the mood for. Picnic tables were what was outside. Might have been some games outside you could play too. We were doing like I'll talk about the beer first. So, yeah, Modern Times. The beer was phenomenal. Like, everything I had was fantastic. We did a couple, hazy, juicy IPAs, knocked them out of the park. I think I had 3 there. And then I was super excited that they had their Monster Park Mexican hot chocolate. Huge fan of that style, even if it hasn't been aged in bourbon barrels. Excuse me, like this one was. But you got the spices exactly right. Had just the right, for me anyway, right level of kick from the chili peppers in there, whatever kind of peppers they use, and that bourbon. Oh, it was amazing. It was as good as I was hoping it would be. So, Joe, as cool in real life as he comes across in his videos, also as nice as he comes across in his videos, he is legit like the same guy. Like, there's no pretense or facade when he's in front of the camera doing a beer review, talking food, whatever he's doing. That's him to a T. His wife also came down. She was awesome. It's kind of weird. It's happened to me a few times now where I've met people who also do stuff on YouTube with beer. And every single time, it's just this immediate connection. They're so cool. They're so chill. They're so fun to hang out with. You know you have at least something in common talking beer. He got there first. I walked up to him, just like, hey, man, how you doing? Looks at me, goes, wow, you're tall. I'm only 2 inches taller than him. But he's like used to being, tall. I'm 6'4". And so that was funny. And then his wife came in wherever she had been and introduced me to her. And just, again, right off the bat, all 3 of us my wife had some conference stuff. Right off the bat, we hit it off, and just great conversations the whole time. They just thoughtful. They had asked some thoughtful questions. We had some real discussions. We obviously talked beer, but we talked life, family, job, bigger picture items. Just like, we probably hung out, 2 hours, and just really, really cool. I really enjoyed that time together. It continues the streak of meeting really awesome people through BeerTube. And I'm excited because tomorrow, I know Joe's bummed by this, but I'm excited tomorrow. I get to meet Joe from the Beer Patrol. So going to Matt's Massive Beer Reviews, East Coast Beer Tuber Palooza. And I think the BeerTube people who'll be there I've met before, except for Joe from the Beer Patrol. So I'm really excited to keep that streak alive. The seating thing, so we ended up sitting in 3 different spots. It's like the Goldilocks of good temperature for all of us. So we started outside. That was too cold. Now, from San Diego's temperature is like always 70 degrees, never humid. It was like the most amazing thing ever. Right now, it's like 95 degrees, and you can tell I'm sweating in my basement right now. That's how hot it is. So for me, it was great, but I think she was a little cool out there. We went inside. Where we were inside, it was a little too hot at first, and then we found the nice couches that were just the right temperatures. We hung out there. But yeah, again, him and his wife, awesome people. No surprise there. Then the last big beer thing I really did, I had some beers like, bars or restaurants my wife and I went to But the last like big beer thing I did was I knew that McKellar San Diego and AleSmith were really close to each other, and at the AleSmith they have like a private speakeasy with all their, not all their, but like a bunch of barrel aged beers, and obviously that's what I'm really into. And Joe told me how to like get the code to get in there and everything. So I had looked up how close they were. I'm like, yeah, awesome, great. I'll Uber up. It was kind of far from where I was staying, so I'm like, I'll make a day of it. And went to AleSmith first. Well, I didn't even look up like other breweries in that area. I just knew I wanted to hit those two. And on the Uber ride up, the guy's like, just so you know, you're gonna be by a bunch of breweries, like not just the one I'm dropping you off at. So got to AleSmith. That was awesome. I filmed a review there. Be on the lookout for that. And the bartender there, fantastic guy. They had a food truck. I had a delicious burrito and a side of guacamole and tortilla chips. They had made like a little fresh queso, and like the guy just threw that in. He's like, hey, I just made this, let me know how it is. So like really cool food truck. Beautiful facilities, pretty new, big. It's like sterile and clean without being like fake or lame or like, not authentic. Awesome space. So when I was there though, I got on Yelp. I was like, okay, what other breweries are in this area? Ballast Point, and then there's a few other ones too. But I'm like trying to think like the ones I wanted to go to. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's Ballast Point. I'm going to check it out if I'm right there. And then a few people had reached out to me about this Pure Project place. And I didn't realize it was right there. So I kept telling people like, no, I'm not going to have time to find this place and get to it. No, it's right there. So I went there after AleSmith. And I just walked over. It was that close. And it was as good as people were like again, actually after I went, other people were like, hey, if you're still in San Diego, check out Pure Project. I probably had 5 people tell me to check it out. Pretty small place, maybe 20 feet wide, 15 feet deep. I'm just estimating for like where you can hang out where the bar is. Awesome beers. They call them murky IPAs. So I had a couple New England style. I've been trying to branch out when I'm at breweries to try different things, not just, what do you have that's hazy? They had a Braggot that they had brewed with Superstition Meadery. It was 51% grain and 49% honey. So a Braggot, not, right, couldn't be called a mead then. They had raspberries and I think just honey was their thing. Was there a third adjunct? If you want to call honey an adjunct, and then I guess depends on your definition, but fantastic, so good. I had one of their murky beers that was really good too, and then I did fruited sour, which was quite pleasant. They do that 1% thing like Maine does, where like they donate 1% of their profits to help something with the environment, which I think is really rad. When you go in there, you kind of feel like you're in a garden. Like they have plants hanging, and it's such a cool space. Like definitely. Although a lot of people recommended it to me, definitely felt like a hidden gem and like a place to seek out if you're in the San Diego area. Then I knew I was going to walk to Ballast Point, but like it seemed like I was going to do a big horseshoe. So I just walked behind where Pure Project is, and there was just like a little hill and then Ballast Point. So I just walked down that little hill, saved myself some time, went in there. I'd had most of what they had on tap. It's not a knock, but I was trying to find something new. And they had in bourbon barrels, or whiskey, I think it was whiskey, they had some stout I had never heard of from them. Apparently they have brewed it before, I just didn't know it. And I had a pretty small pour and I was smelling it. And I called that guy over, I'm like, in my mind I'm like, I'm going crazy. So I called the bartender over, I'm like, are there spices in this? He goes, yeah, it's curry. I'm like, thank you, okay, because I thought I was going crazy smelling. I mean, it was straight up curry. Like I didn't even get like roastiness or anything you would normally associate with a stout. It smelled like a bowl of curry. He's like, yeah, like I think they upped the recipe of their base curry stout and then aged in these barrels. But it tasted pretty good. You didn't get a lot of curry in the taste. A little bit of that coconut came through for me. But and it had like was it kefir limes? It's in curry a lot. Curry powder, spices. I forget what else they listed, or he listed off, I should say. Because the description did not say that on it. So I was like, well, I guess my palate's still, my nose palate's still pretty good. And then I went over to McKellar. McKellar, San Diego is actually in AleSmith's old place. So it's like within a mile of each other. Big industrial looking place. Unlike the brand new AleSmith, you can see how this one been lived in, even though hasn't been lived in by Mikkeller for very long. It just had, and again, not that AleSmith was at all like phony with its sterileness, but like Mikkeller didn't have that same vibe. Still a chill vibe. All their typical Mikkeller artwork painted and everything all over. They had maybe 5 things I couldn't get in New York on draft there, which was real cool. They actually had what I don't remember if it was one that was exclusive to there or not, but a passion fruit goza, which I thought was phenomenal, like phenomenal. I had tried 2 barrel aged things they had that I didn't think were very good. Luckily, I just had like her pour me little ones, and I said after I tasted both those, like no, I said I'm just gonna go all in with that kind of love passion from like that passion fruit goza. Luckily, it was fantastic. Another great bartender there. She was fantastic, super knowledgeable. There was a bottle I'd seen and it said Deep Puddle Dynamics, which if you're into underground hip hop, they had one album. It was like 4 or 5 of the again underground hip hop guys. No big names, and I think they only had the one album. And I'm like, because those are 3 pretty random words to have together: Deep Puddle Dynamics, or dynamic, and I'm like, was it brewed with them? Is it just a coincidence? Because it's a big coincidence, or is it just like in reference as like a shout out? And she kind of smirked. She's like, it wasn't with them, but it's just kind of like acknowledging that the hip hop heads and Mikkeller, it was a collaboration with Mikkeller and someone else. It was like a shout out. I said, all right, because that's pretty random that I had those 3 words. But they didn't have that on draft, so I didn't try that. I didn't buy a bottle. But yeah, San Diego was awesome. Again, great weather. The people, I forgot to say that, so friendly. I'm like New York State friendly, but man, you go to San Diego, I seem like a jerk. Like everyone's just so nice. Hello, how you doing? Have a great day. Hey, friend, what's up? Just like so nice. Beautiful. Again, that weather was insane. It's like my perfect temperature, 70, no humidity. Every day we were there, and a couple people told us like, yeah, this is San Diego. It's built in the middle of a desert. They brought everything in. So now they have water, they have vegetation, and they don't get rain really that much. It's just awesome. But yeah, highly recommend going to San Diego. Awesome brewery scene, beer scene, bar scene, Comic-Con obviously. But yeah, have you ever been to San Diego? Let me know your thoughts. Have you ever been to any places I listed? Or you just want to talk beer in general, whatever. I think I probably rambled way longer than anyone's going to watch. But if you made it all the way to the end, let me know in the comment section below. Check me out on Instagram on Tapped. No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. And always please like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.